Hello and welcome back to another tactical analysis. Today it is going to be on Spurs' home 4-1 Derby Day loss to Arsenal. Igor Tudor's first game in charge, and it felt like something Spurs needed to at least approach in a positive way to just give them something they could take. They were probably always going to lose this game, but at least have something you can take going into the rest of the season. And it had a lot of nothing. I've never really felt like Spurs could get relegated. As bad as they've been, as much as they've dropped points, as much as they've lost to teams that are beneath them and ones that you would consider teams in real danger of going down. And look, it's one game. Igor Tudor's got a lot he can do to change the fortunes of Tottenham going forward. And realistically, if they looked at their run of fixtures, would they have looked at this as a guaranteed source of points? Obviously not. There's something a little bit worrying about Spurs. I think they're in a lot of danger. I don't necessarily think they'll go down, but the fact that I'm starting to doubt that opinion is probably as bad a sign as any could be. And Igor Tudor got a lot wrong in this game, but the defensive decision-making and just the lack of quality in this Spurs team is really frightening. And we're going to go over the 4 goals. This one's probably going to be the simplest of the lot, and I'm just going to pinpoint this here. So Saka's got the ball on the right wing. Jed Spencer's, for some reason, gone to press Yuri and Timber at right back. So Saka's a little bit free. Throughout the game, Spurs went man-to-man and he was pressed by Mickey van der Ven. Van der Ven's in the centre of defence. He's very narrow, along with his centre-backs, as you can see in the middle of the pitch. And for some reason, Conor Gallagher is in that defensive line. Why, I'm not entirely sure. So there's 4 in the centre. You've got Archie Gray, who's the right wing back at the back stick. Pape Matar Sarr, who's coming to track the run of Saka because Van der Ven's not close enough. There's no real designated marker as Jed Spencer's committed. So he's come from his midfield position here to come and press this guy here. So right now what you're looking at is the Jed Spence out the game, the back 3 in the box, as well as the right wing back. And you've got 2 of the 3 midfielders now in that line as well. So you've got Conor Gallagher, as I just said, in this central defensive zone here, and Sarr, all on the last line. So this is going to play a crucial part when the cross comes in, and this is going to play a crucial part when the cross comes in, and seemingly Eze has a bit too much space to finish. So Saka beats Sarr, beats him far too easily. Sarr doesn't really do enough to close him down, to stop the cross from coming in, to stop Saka from dribbling at him. So it's a little bit too weak, a little bit too easy. Saka gets in across. And again, I'm just going to point out some players here. So Sarr's beaten here. Sarr's pretty much out of the game now by the time this pass comes. Basuma has now made a movement into that space in front of Van der Ven, who is still very narrow. And Conor Gallagher is lost in the melee here. I can't quite tell who he is. So that's your 3 midfielders all on the defensive line. So, look at this. 3 players on the penalty spot in a lot of space. There's a lot of space in front of them in terms of having 8 opposition players in their own box defending. There is no reason to have your 3 midfielders as well as a back 5 on the last line like this. They're so attracted to the ball. Just look at them. They're all ball watching, all distracted by Saka's run. He's taken Sarr out of the game too easily. Van der Ven isn't coming across. In fact, I don't quite know what Van der Ven's position here is at all. He's doing nothing here. I mean, that's Vicario zone. If a ball comes there, you'd expect your keeper to have it. And then the cross comes in. And to be fair, Eze, I mean, it's hit him without really knowing much about it. But it's a poor touch. But he's allowed to take a poor touch and put it into the back of the net with a lovely finish. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 just outside. Pretty much all of Spurs' outfield players within the area of the box, and none of them are close to Eze. It's bizarre defending. Really bizarre. So we can talk about tactics, we can talk about managerial influences all we want. That's basics. We're talking basics, so you don't need 8 on the last line. So Arsenal get their opening goal. Spurs obviously come back into it. Now, in these next couple clips, I'm going to go for one player, and that's Dragazin. And I don't want to go too harsh because, again, I'm just a chubby little boy sitting here on his computer analysing football games. I'm not at the level he is playing at. It's so bad. It's so bad. So, before anything, you've got Yuri and Timber picking the ball up here in A because of space. He has time to look up, play the ball. And one thing I'm going to give credit to Arsenal for here, finally doing something which I've been requesting. They've got possession of the ball deep in Spurs' half. Look at that. Eze and Gyökeres in close proximity to each other. And the reason that that's important is because they can connect. If the ball gets threaded in between the lines, then they can play off of each other. You can get Eze receiving the ball in between the lines, which Spurs are creating a massive channel for this pass. It's pretty frightening, actually. And they can then connect, play off each other. Eze can create opportunities for Gyökeres. Gyökeres can have a bit more confidence of have someone he can play off of. It feels like far too often in these games for Arsenal, we've seen Eze maybe dropping back into this position so that Timber can play a sort of lateral ball across, and it's not been good enough. And now there's a threat of City coming for them. I don't think they can be so conservative and so reserved in possession. So there's many more examples of this as I'll show, but just small nod to Arteta just to say, finally, attack a midfielder, close proximity to the striker. It's been a long time coming. So that ball goes in from Timber, and the central congestion there from Arsenal with Trossard, Eze and Gyökeres is obviously a threat. The midfield's taken out of the game. The midfield aren't closing the distance. They've not gotten across to Timber. They've really just not done their job. They've been so easily bypassed, it's not even true. So Dragazin, as you can see here, assumes that ball is going into Eze. And look how tight he is. He is so concerned with the man, it's not even funny. He's not even concentrating on the ball, really. He's just worried about winning that physical battle with Eberechi Eze. And the direction of the ball is moving away. So Eze is still in control. Eze's got himself in between the man and the ball. And it's strange defending from Dragazin. So as you can see, he fouls Eberechi Eze here. Ball goes cleanly through to Gyökeres, who now has a little bit more space because there's a degree of separation in between Palhinha and Dragazin. Palhinha isn't tight enough at all, by the way, but I'll give at least a little bit of credit to Palhinha because he's not a centre-back, he's a centre midfielder playing centre-back. And Dragazin can see the ball coming, he's anticipating the ball coming because that's why he's gotten so tight to Eze. But he's so concerned with the man, he's forgotten about the ball. He could have intercepted that ball, he could have gotten a foot and he could have won a challenge had he not been so concentrated on the man. Because of Dragazin being too attracted to Eze, this is now open. That angle, that corner is opening up now because Palhinha, don't ask me what Palhinha's position is. Do not ask me what is going on here. But there's a clear angle now for Gyökeres to go for the shot. He's got so much space in that D on the edge of the box. It's like the game at the Emirates all over again. And because of Dragazin getting attracted to Eze, he can't now get across quickly enough to then try and block the shot. Maybe he could do it with a bit more intensity, but he's committed to that action, so he's got to recover, and he's not getting there quick enough. And I'm going to point out someone else that I'm going to be really critical of. Vicario. It's a really good strike from Gyökeres, and I'm not going to take that away from him. He's been a player that's been lacking confidence, and he's scored a big 2 goals, but a big goal here with a real bit of quality. He's hit it with some venom. I'd want my keeper to keep it out, because where this ball hits the back of the net, it's about here, roughly. I don't think that's too unrealistic to expect my goalkeeper to save it. As you can see, he's seeing this shot coming. He's facing Gyökeres head on. Gyökeres' angle, he's leaning back, he's taken the touch away from him, and with the distance between his stance and the ball, he can't wrap that into this corner because he can't get his foot round enough to put it into that bottom corner. So it's either coming straight to Vicario here, or it's going in here. Vicario makes a really weird decision with his technical quality as a goalkeeper here. And I can't really demonstrate this properly, but I'll see if I can just do it with some drawings. Hopefully this doesn't look mental. So, when you're diving to a corner, your dominant foot is the one that's facing that corner. So, Vicario has got to keep that as his dominant leg. He's got to keep his balance on that leg and then kick off with this leg. So that leg standing, he can generate the power in the leg that's closest to the corner that Gyökeres is striking at, and that right foot is the spring. His left leg needs to be planted to get the most distance, to get the most spring, to get the most power in his dive to go and save it. Just keep in mind the last picture. His leg has gone inwards. He's collapsed his left leg. He can't dive now because he's got no power in his jump because he's not got any strength in the leg that's closest to that corner. He's collapsed it inwards, so he's not getting any distance. He's as good as just staying in the middle of the goal, essentially, with that shot coming in. I think that's a technical issue for a goalkeeper. It's a great strike from Gyökeres. I'm not going to take anything away from it. But I think that's savable for a Premier League goalkeeper. 15, 20 yards out. He's got the full view of it. There's only one place he can really put it. There's no disguise on it. It's clear what direction that ball is going to go. And he gets nowhere near it. nowhere near it because he collapses his leg at a really poor moment instead of using that as his dominant leg, and it goes into the back of the net, and Arsenal get that killer second goal. And again, me and my good mate Radu, we're going to get to know each other real well. So poor in this third goal. So poor. So Sarr has the header in the middle of the pitch. It's sort of gone back and forth, a bit long ball. He's heading it back to Dragazin now. Now, with the players that Arsenal have in the centre of the pitch, I mean, look how narrow this pitch is. Nobody's holding width for Spurs. Nobody's even wide for Arsenal. It's so narrow. There's about 15-20 yards between everyone on that pitch, horizontally. So with that header going backwards, Dragazin has either got to do one of two things. Take a touch and just absolutely boot it upfield, or he's got to let it come across his body and go back to Vicario. For whatever reason, he makes a decision to head it right back into the middle of the pitch. He's also moving his head down, so he's not got great control over it. If I can just highlight it a little bit here, I know it's not the best quality, I couldn't find great quality. He's moving his head down to head the ball, so he has no control over it. He's heading it straight, centrally. And look at what Arsenal have here. Their entire midfield shape in such close proximity. They've got the numerical advantage as well over the Spurs midfield in that area. And they're anticipating it a lot better. Arsenal are in a very good position because with the positioning of these two guys here, there's a lot of space either side of Palhinha and Dragazin. One who isn't a centre-back, another who's a bit poor as a centre-back. And so, that header going in there favours Arsenal counter-pressing, causing chaos, and winning the ball and turning over to create a dangerous attacking opportunity. Which they do. The ball goes into Sarr. Sarr doesn't win it. Eze then nicks the ball. The ball's going to Gyökeres. And again, Dragazin makes a mental decision. He is concerned with man and not the ball. The ball's direction of travel is going towards Gyökeres. And just look at the movement that Dragazin is making here. Just look at what he's attempting to do. He's getting close. His eyes are on the ball, but he's not so much concerned about the ball. And to be honest with you, Gyökeres has got him right where he wants him. So he's making that decision to go up. Gets nowhere near the ball. Doesn't foul him. It gets so concerned. Look, his back is leaning in to Gyökeres here. It's like he's shepherding it out for a goal kick or something. It's wild. Gyökeres just needs to stick his foot out, take a touch. Just look at the way his feet are positioned. He's not challenging for the ball. His only concern with Gyökeres. And if you're going to do that, foul him. Bring him down to the floor. Take a yellow. Just floor him. If you're going to be so concerned with the man, you either have to win the ball, take him out. It's one of those two things. So he loses that. It's a lovely touch from Gyökeres. I'm not taking anything away from that again. And Eze is running onto it now because he's got the run on the midfield. Ball goes to Eze. Because of the high positioning of the supporting players in Archie Gray and Van de Ven, Saka now has this run through on goal because they were so high. They weren't concentrated on the potential threat. Obviously 2-1 down as well, so they're attempting an equaliser. They just had a goal disallowed. Eze received the ball. Dragazin's now out the picture because he's been concentrating with Gyökeres. So that pass can quickly go in there to Saka's run, which it does. Van de Ven does well to get back and tackle, and Eze gets into the box and puts into the back of the net with an open goal. Simple, easy, and it's just instances that do not need to happen from a defensive point of view from Radu Dragazin, a defender that should know better. Really, really poor. And this one I'm going to go less on Spurs, I'm going to go more on Arsenal, something I highlighted earlier in the game. Odegaard has since come on for Eze, and look at the close proximity between himself and Victor Gyökeres. So Spurs have the ball at fullback. Jed Spence tries to play out. The Arsenal still pressing, still being aggressive to the final minutes. Hincapié and Martinelli near him. Really good play from them, really good intensity and really good mental strength to win the ball and still keep going for the goal and still keep going for the win, even though you're 3-1 up with 3.5 minutes to go. So they win the ball. It circulates around to Odegaard, who maintains his position between defence and midfield. And now look, he's got the technical quality to take a touch out of his feet. We all know that. And in that quick transitional moment, you have this. Odegaard to Gyökeres. As soon as he takes that touch out of his feet, he's got the time and space to play his pass. I'm not even going to comment on Dragazin. It's getting a bit too much already. So that pass goes into Gyökeres, and Gyökeres, aggressive, links arms with Archie Gray, keeps him away from him as best he can, and also with his left foot, and I don't know if this is intentional, I may be giving him a lot of credit here because we've seen him do this and fail miserably and look like he doesn't know how to control a ball, but he's keeping Archie Gray away from him. He's got his arm around him, just strong arming him out the way, and his touch comes inside, and he's still keeping Archie Gray away. So he's got that separation, he's got himself in between Gray and the ball, and now he's inside on his right foot, and he's got the opportunity to play inside and bend it in, and he does that excellently. And this is the best game we've seen from Gyökeres by an absolute country mile. Using his physicality, creating separation between himself and his dueling defender, not being so concerned with the man that he's forgetting about the ability to create separation, but also he's getting support from midfielders, Eze, Odegaard, who are in close proximity. They're staying close to him to support him and facilitate him, and that will only breed confidence to keep doing things like this and getting into great positions like this, or he's more of a threat. Because in general play, he's just not. He's not a great player. He's not going to get on the ball. He's not going to take touches on the half turn and play lovely little weighted balls in behind the defensive line for the wide players to get on. You know, he's not going to drop in like Harry Kane. But if you facilitate him enough, he will get you goals. I've said that from the start of the season. And we've seen it full pelt here in this game against Spurs. Beneficial to him because Spurs' game plan was completely man-to-man. And I think he's an attacker that will thrive off of that because the more space he has to play in, the better it is for his just overall game. And Spurs, naive, poor. There's so many technical issues with all of their defensive qualities. Admittedly, there's injuries. Romero's out suspended. Real lack of depth to change things. Even still, I would expect so much better. These are Premier League players on a lot of money that have cost Spurs a lot of money. And it's got to be better. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. And I'll see you in a bit.